I hope that you are well. My name is Eve. Some of you may know me as Evie Sue from my own channel, and in today's video I am working with uni to give you guys some exam and study tips from a big old fourth year like myself. I can't believe I'm in fourth year now, but here we are. I don't know if I would exactly call them, I suppose they are tips, but they're more things that I have collected and collated and found that work for me over my time at university. So some of these things might not work for everybody, but they're just little ideas and suggestions and tips that I have for everyone that might be struggling or just needs some advice on how to really get that head down and get the studying done, because exams are important. So yeah. I actually luckily don't have any exams this semester. I have recently just finished my dissertation and I have a couple final assignments that I need to work on. But nonetheless, I have had however many years, 3-4 years of experience of university exams, and prior to that, obviously other high school exams. And so hopefully my advice and tips I have will come in handy for at least some of you out there. So anyway, without further ado, I will introduce you to the tips. So my first piece of advice is to make sure that you take consistent breaks. I swear that I've heard about specific timings that are meant to be the sort of peak of the best of like how long you should work for and then how long you break for. But what I tend to do is I will study for about an hour and then I will break for about 15 minutes. I find that this works for me. There might be things that work better for other people, but I do think that it's really important to take breaks, or else you end up just overworking your brain and mentally you'll just get really tired and it will make the studying part even harder, whereas if you make sure that you have the breaks, it will just keep your head clear, and it also gives you a little reward for what you're doing. And if you try and just make what you're doing in your breaks very varied for each time that you do it, but also just different to what you're doing in terms of the studying. So watch some really crazy videos or watch a YouTube video that you enjoy, listen to a podcast, listen to some music, you know, the list goes on. But just do something that's sort of like very polar opposite to the work that you're doing. I think that's important as well. My second tip that may be more personal to me, but I find that really helps to stop me from constantly looking at like my watch or my clock to see what time it is when I'm studying, is to set a timer. So as I said previously, I tend to do about an hour's work and then I'll take like sort of like a 15-minute break, half an hour sometimes if I feel I need it. So what I'll do is on my watch I can set up a timer and it will vibrate on my wrist obviously, and so I just find that that stops me from constantly trying to see what time it is. If I know that I've got a timer that will tell me once I've done an hour, I find that I just keep doing the work and I will keep working consistently hard because I'm not constantly thinking, oh my god, how much longer do I have left? Because I know that I'll be told after an hour, there you go, break time. So yeah, that's another little tip that I find helps me. This might come across as a little bit vague and kind of obvious, but just try and find what revision type works for you. What I mean by that is, what form of revising or studying is the most suited and helps you the most to remember the information that you're trying to remember. To try and make this a little more clear, an example of what I do when I'm studying is, I actually only found out that this worked best for me in third year when I was on my study abroad in Canada, and for some reason I switched to note-taking, like physical note-taking on a notepad with a notepad and pen from the slides that were in the lectures, or when I was studying I used a combination of the slides and my pre-made notes to rewrite out my notes on like paper. And on top of that, I also kind of color coordinated it. So like every module would have like a different color, and I'd have like biro pens in that color, I'd have felt tips in that color, and I would kind of header each section of note-taking. So like every sort of topic within each module kind of thing. And I think the reason that this worked for me is because I have a very, what's the proper term? I don't know. I call it like a very visual memory. In the sense that if I'm in an exam and I'm asked a question about a certain topic area, I will visualize the sheet of paper in my head and I'll be like, okay, so that was here and that was that. That means that that is related to that because of this. This sounds very long-winded, but in my head, that works for me. And as I say, I only figured that out last year. Would have benefited me a lot more if I'd figured that out a lot longer ago, but that's besides the point. That might not work for everyone, and so other examples that I can think of, maybe taking notes on your laptop on a Word document, or creating flashcards, creating mind maps. The list goes on, and that's just a major tip of mine, is to try and figure out what one works best for you, because everybody's different, so find your revision type. This is one I think is certainly more important in the current times with things being closed in libraries, either not being open or being open but it being very limited as to when you can go, and that is having a dedicated workspace. So where I'm sat right now, you can see my desk, so this is my dedicated workspace. So I do nothing here but do my work, and for me that just immediately helps me get into the right mindset. It separates the idea of work and relaxation, and I know that when I'm here I should be working, and for some reason the psychology of it I should probably know because that's my degree, but that motivates me to work harder and it gets me in the mindset of doing my work. On top of that, it also means that you can kind of set up how you like. So as you can see, I have loads of stuff on my desk. Like I have a whole plant here, and I have a candle, and just like little things, and that's how I like my workspace to be. I like my workspace to be neat, like very neat and tidy, but in saying that, I like to have things that aren't necessarily, I don't like it to just be my laptop and my pen and my paper. So when I'm studying, I always like to have a candle on. For some reason, I don't know why, it gets me in the right mindset. You can not only have the separation of work and relaxation, but also it allows you to set it up in a way that works best for you and helps you to concentrate the best. So a dedicated workspace is very handy. The next one might seem either very obvious or very strange, and that is to stay hydrated and fueled. So I think we all forget how much energy our mental capacity and like using our brain requires. When you're studying, like you're using so much energy, although you're not moving, you're using so much energy in your head just like concentrating and doing the work that you need to do. So making sure that you have enough food and you keep yourself hydrated, I think is really important. I say that, and I have my gigantic 1 litre water bottle that I always have around my flat with me, and I think it's important to not get in the mindset of like, oh, I'm just sitting doing work. That doesn't mean that like I need to make sure that I'm staying on top of drinking and having snacks, but it does. It definitely does, because you're requiring so much energy and putting so much effort into, you know, making notes or like reading over things or making posters, as I said, whatever works for you, that sometimes you forget that that requires a lot of energy. And so making sure that you're eating and having snacks and drinking plenty of water, or also coffee, because I can't do anything without coffee apparently, I think is just very important. Another big thing that I think can get in the way of a lot of us and our work is our phones. So as annoying as it can be, or as much as you might not want to do it, because I don't want to do it a lot of the time, just get rid of your phone. Like get it out of your workspace and make sure that it is not distracting you. A lot of the time what I do is, I know some people put it in a separate room, which obviously will work because you have to make the effort to go all the way through next door to go on your phone. But what I tend to do is just put it at like the opposite end of the room, because even that deters me from going on it. And I mean, I know I obviously say that I have my watch for my timer, but if you are setting up a timer on your phone, it means that you can hear it more clearly if it's still in the same room as you, but just put it somewhere that you can't grab it at arm's reach, because I think it's surprising how putting something literally just like, you know, like a couple meters away in the same room as you stops you from using it. So yeah, get rid of your phone and also just other general distractions. I realise a lot of these probably sound kind of strange, but this next one is find your background noise. I know it might sound odd to some people that don't get what that means, but I'm sure there's some of you out there that completely get what I'm on about. My background noise, as it were, completely changes from day to day. Like I don't have a constant type of noise that I like to have when I'm studying. Sometimes absolutely no noise is best for me, but sometimes silence is too loud. You know, that sounds strange, but sometimes silence is too loud. Like I like background jazz music on very quietly, but it means that like if I do pick up noises, I'm concentrating on that specific thing and not like noises that are outside, which then cause me to get distracted because I can hear so many different things. Because I live on quite a busy street. Well, my street itself isn't that busy, but I live right next to a park. There's always a lot of people, and then I'll hear a dog barking, and then I'll start trying to listen into conversations of people, and deters me from doing my work. So find your background noise, whether that is complete and utter silence, jazz music like me, nature noises, white noise, lo-fi music, I think that's how you say it, lo-fi. You know, find what works best for you and use that to your advantage. So the next one is to make a plan and prepare ahead. So whether it's planning the day ahead or the week ahead, whatever you find works the best for you, I have always found that having a little, in fact it's right here, I have my little weekly diary thing. So it literally just has like, you know, I don't know if this is going to focus very well, but the days of the week. And what I do every week when I know I have a few things to do is I'll write nothing too in depth, but on each day I'll be like, okay, so I have like 3 things to do this week. So for example, this week I had this video to make and I have an essay to write and I have some other stuff to do. So I was like, okay, well, let's just say Mondays for this, Tuesdays for that. And then it gives me a vague plan of how I'm going to cover everything that I need to cover. But in saying that, obviously hinting onto the word of vague plan, don't make anything too in depth, or if you do, don't be hard on yourself if you don't manage to cover everything in your plan, because a plan is just meant to keep you organized. It's not supposed to be the be all and end all and the solid way that everything has to go. It's just supposed to just kind of help you figure out, okay, so I have this amount of work, it'll take X amount of time, and then, you know, if it doesn't quite work out that way, that's okay, but I know roughly I need to finish it within this time frame. I think that's a really important thing to hold on to, is that, yeah, planning is great, but don't beat yourself up if you don't keep to the plan that you'd made for the week, because you will get it all done in the end. And further to this point, if you do go to the library or can go to the library at the moment, a massive piece of advice that I have, and something that like I've always followed, not just for going to the library, but just generally if I have a plan for the next day, is sort of pack or lay out your stuff the night before. I not only find that it makes me feel more prepared, but it also just makes me feel more motivated to go the next again day, because you get up and you might be feeling a bit like, oh, I don't know if I want to go to the library, I don't know if I can be bothered. But when you have everything all set out and packed, you think, okay, well, I've done that part now, I might as well just pick up my bag, brush my teeth, have some breakfast and go. So preparing ahead, I think, also is something that I find helps me to like motivate me to actually get on with work. And the next and final tip that I have for today's video is make sure you're in the right mindset and don't be hard on yourself if you're not. I think this is a very important thing to consider when it comes to studying and revising and doing assignments. It's really important that you yourself feel ready and okay to do it all, because at the end of the day, if you're not going to perform to your best, and then you're just going to end up feeling almost like annoyed at yourself. And if you're like already not in a good mindset, then it's just like a big massive tumbling circle of everything just kind of going downhill. And so if you're having a day where you're just not quite feeling up to doing the work you had planned, or a lot of work, or any work at that matter, don't feel like you have to. You've got the next day. Or if you plan on getting up in the morning super early and you're just not in the right headset to do this work that you planned, go on a wee walk. Make a coffee or a tea or whatever drink of choice you like. Go on a little walk around, clear your head, get the day started right, and then come back to it and see how you're feeling. And you never know, that little walk might have really helped you and you might be feeling in the right mindset at that point. But again, if not, continue your day as is, and if at some point you feel like you're in the right mindset, then go for it. There have been so many days, like so many days in my university career, as it were, that I've been like, oh, I'm gonna get up at 8 o'clock, I'm gonna start doing like my work by 9, and then I'm gonna have done all this stuff, and I get up that morning and I'm just not feeling it. And so I take the day as it comes, and a lot of the time it'll hit 2 or 3 and I'll be like, okay, actually, yeah, I can work now. And sometimes I'll get the work done that I want to do, and sometimes I don't. But that's alright, because here I am. I've made it this far, so obviously that's okay, and you can have those days. Yeah, I just think that's really important, and it's something that we all forget, that when it comes to studying, as important as it is, it's really important to make sure that you yourself are okay and are able to do the work that's ahead of you. So don't be hard on yourself. Chill out if you need it. So that is all of my studying and exam tips that I have from my old 4th year self who is graduating this year. I hope that, you know, these tips that I have collated and used myself will help you. If not all of them, at least some of them will help you in you're studying for exams this semester, if you have any, and if they weren't helpful, I'm really sorry, but I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. If you have any exams this semester, I wish you all the best of luck, and I'm sure you'll do absolutely fine and you'll get through them all, and I'm sending all my luck to every single one of you that does have exams this semester. So thank you for watching. Again, I hope that these were some helpful studying tips, and I hope you have a great day.